The honourable member for Edmund Highlands Norwood.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The Minister of Health has just held a joint news conference with the ER doctors who have raised concerns that we've been dealing with in this House. Instead of real commitments to solve the tragic overcrowding in our emergency rooms, we heard vague words about accountability measures. How these will be achieved was not explained. My question is to the Premier. If these targets are not met, will you be accountable? Will you put your minister's job on the line? Will you put your job on the line?
The Honourable Premier.
Mr. Speaker, given that the Minister of Health was part of the news conference, he'll be able to inform this House with what was said earlier this afternoon.
The Honourable Minister.
Thank you very much. There was a lot said. I'll try and be brief as I can, Mr. Speaker. Today, in response to the meeting that we had last night with the emergency docs, which went very well, by the way, I directed Alberta Health Services to adopt some very specific performance measures.
We'll get to that following the next question.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, of course, the question was about accountability. I don't know why the Premier refuses to make himself accountable, perhaps because he has made these promises before and never lifted a finger to keep them. So my question is to the Premier. Why are you refusing to hold your minister and yourself accountable? Is it because you have no intention of keeping your promises again?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know about that side of the House in the opposition, but this side is accountable every single day. We're accountable to Albertans. And we listen carefully and attentively to what they say, and we act on the suggestions that we can to improve things. For example, today I issued some directives, 6 of them in total, for Alberta Health Services to follow. And here's a couple of them. The maximum time in an emergency room for a non-admitted person, in other words, someone who does not need an overnight stay, should not exceed 4 hours. The maximum time in an emergency room for an admitted person, one who does require an overnight bed, an overnight stay, right from triage through to bed placement, should not exceed 8 hours. Those were accepted by the emergency docs because they are national standards, and we will have the protocol in place.
The Honourable Member.
Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker. We've heard promises before, 2.5 years ago. Given that the Premier has promised more long-term care beds and then reduced them, promised more nurses and then laid them off, can he tell the people of Alberta one thing? Why should we trust you now?
The Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, a number of exciting initiatives have occurred and will continue to occur. You know why? Because we now have, for the first time in Canada, a 5-year funding commitment from this government. Never before in the history of Canada has that been done. What will that do? That will allow us to have longer-range planning, improved planning, predictable and stable funding to open up 1,300 additional care beds this year. 800 are already open.